Hallo? 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 What the f? What the f? Hey!
Ciaz is a Belgian YouTuber and urban explorer known for posting videos of his adventures with friends as they explore abandoned places, such as empty buildings, old factories, and deserted villas. He's been active on YouTube since 2016, and over the years his channel has grown steadily, with tens of thousands of subscribers and millions of total views. On October 28, 2020, he uploaded a video exploring a forest near Tessenderlo, Belgium, an area known for being quiet, dark, and largely empty at night. The video started like normal. They had parked their car and were on their way, until not even a minute later they hear what sounds like very loud barking coming from inside the woods. It's nothing extreme, but it's close enough that it's impossible to ignore.
Dit is wel spannend, ja. Pak hem op. Echt. Oh man. Dit is...
Now they weren't too alarmed because as they ventured further in, they saw a sign warning about a guard dog. At first it didn't seem too alarming, they figured to explain the barking they just heard. But as they moved deeper, a creeping sense of unease began to settle in. Up ahead, they spotted what looked like a makeshift entrance. A sign read, "Please respect our place of prayer." On paper, it sounded harmless, but something about it was off. It wasn't official. It looked like someone had just made it themselves and just left it there. Someone who had taken refuge in these woods maybe, a homeless person, or someone far more unstable. And then their suspicions were confirmed. They saw what looked like a hut up ahead, barely visible in the distance. And then the realization hit. Someone was living here, and this wasn't just an abandoned campsite anymore. They should have taken the signs they saw earlier way more seriously, because what they heard next was deeply unsettling.
Gewoon nog, dat kan toch niet aan? Hoezo? What the f*** licht? What the f***? Dat is toch niet mijn auto of zo, hè?
At this point, they should have turned back to the car and left the forest entirely. But before they could, this happened.
Hallo? 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 What the f***? What the f***? Hey!
A clearly unstable woman emerged from the trees, brandishing what looked like an axe, and began to chase after them. Obviously terrified, the group ran as fast as they could, trying to put distance between themselves and her. Ciaz did manage to dial the police while keeping out of harm's way, adrenaline guiding his every step. Eventually, he found safety and described everything that had just happened to the police. When they arrived, they were able to locate the woman and they tried to calm her down, although it was clear that she was very unstable, as she wasn't complying with police orders and they were forced to use a bit of excessive force, but eventually they did manage to calm her down. The video basically ends there, with Ciaz just describing how terrifying this encounter was. It's definitely a stark reminder, even if a place looks quiet, abandoned, or safe, can hold danger you never expect. On the 5th of August 2024, YouTuber Grizzly Gaz uploaded a video overnight camping in Heptonstall, England. For those of you who don't know, Heptonstall is a small village in West Yorkshire, perched right above the Calder Valley. It's pretty old, with parts of it dating back over 1,000 years, and something about it just feels off. And at the center of the village is the Church of St. Thomas the Apostle, surrounded by a tightly packed graveyard filled with headstones from the 1600s and earlier. The graves are so close together that there's barely room to walk between them. From there, the video continues as normal. Gaz moves a bit deeper into the village, taking time to admire the architecture and even the history surrounding this place. Up until now, it looks like any other video he'd put out on his channel. Predictable, almost boring. But then, as he was preparing to call it a night, this happened.
But I've just woken up to what sounded like someone screaming. Can't figure out what that is.
He's awakened by what sounded like a person screaming. He can't quite make out what it is though. Now realistically, it may have been an animal or something hidden in the forest, unseen in the darkness. Nevertheless, he was never able to find out exactly what it was, and whatever it was just remains unknown. In February 2013, several residents in a neighborhood in northern Oregon began filing reports of strange noises coming from the nearby forest. The sounds were described as what many believed to be eerie laughter, loud enough to echo across the area, cutting through the night and cutting far beyond where they seemed to originate. At one point, one of the residents decided to step outside and follow the direction of the sound. As it grew louder, they began recording, capturing the noise as it echoed back from the trees. The laughter just kept on going, and what's even more disturbing is what sounded like a gunshot can be heard shortly after.
I think that was a gunshot. Somebody just shot over into the woods.
Now, some people believe the noises were made by animals, most commonly foxes or coyotes. Foxes in particular are known to produce high-pitched screams that can sound disturbingly human in the dark. However, not everyone is convinced. Others have pointed out that coyotes usually produce more canine-like shrieks, and that the sounds captured that night were unusually loud, prolonged, and unnatural in tone. To this day, it's still unclear what exactly was making those noises in the forest that night.